you guys just would go toe to toe with each other. Like the porch scene and then that, like Robbie's intimidating.
Robbie's tough.
Like when you get fired up in your eyes, and Mave, that's what you said, like, and Mave just did not back down at all. At all.
Hi, we're the creators of Task, and we are here with Deadline to discuss the backstory behind one of our favorite scenes.
You won't even make it to prison. Jason's gonna kill you first.
You don't know, it's me.
He'll find out.
And let him come and let him fucking come. Let that motherfucker come and shake my hand!
I loved the opportunity to really understand what they had been through together and just how deep the pain went in Robbie specifically, where he finally opens the door to the audience to be like, it's not just about these crimes, it's about an unlived life. And I thought it was time to give the audience a window into his desires.
This is the most important scene in the entire show for me because this is pretty much motivating everything he does. They've reached this horrible impasse. There's so much at stake. I've put her and the kids in such jeopardy. It's like, okay, now I'm gonna tell you why, because I have to. And so this one was cooking deep in me for a long time before we started filming anything. They're laughing because of my behavior on set that day. I was a little withdrawn.
For Mave, it's a real turning point because I think she felt like she was the only one who was miserable and was judging Robbie's, decisions and actions in a very kind of black and white way. And this scene is the first time that she kind of sees that gray area. She's finally seeing him as someone that's so close to herself, desperately unhappy and frustrated with life. And I think also being in the car, I mean, it was so interesting hearing you talk about why you said it in the car. It's like, and being in such a confined space really forces intimacy and, seeing Tom's performance and just like how, the emotional intensity between Mave and Robbie was just so kind of in each other's faces being stuck in the car that, I don't know, it felt like this kind of metaphorical mirror. And I also remember when Sally would come in and give us notes, you would crouch down with us and you were so respectful. And also I felt like you could hear a pin drop on set, like the crew were utterly silent. And it was a very raw scene and it felt very raw to film it.
As a director, you can have a tendency to try to overcomplicate a scene like this. And really, my job is to tell a simple story. And sometimes that's harder than you think it is. You want to do all these cool shots, but it really is about these two people, and that's what makes it, so special.
The way the scenes were edited, they really understand performance in a way. Just sometimes as an actor, you see the way a scene cuts together and you go, that's what you did with that? Like I was there when we filmed it. That's what you did with that. Okay.
That's the shot you chose.
That's the shot you chose. That's the coverage. That's when you were going there and going there.
Yeah.
I watched this show and now I was just like the emotional intelligence, the feel of the cut to me was. It's such like as an actor you just go, oh thank God.
The original shot was this slow creep up on the car, and you could hear them talking inside the car, and then it would come around to the side. And the tracking shot became shorter and shorter through the process. And so Brad is always just like, he wants to see people's faces and just get right to the heart of the emotion.
You cut inside the car and you're just with these two people alone, which is kind of what the scene is about. As Robbie says, Mave, you're the only family I have left. We built these floodlights, so there was this idea that there was like light illuminating just inside the car, and you get that rain pattern and you get these two actors and you see their faces, but it falls to darkness. And we did these sort of heavy overs where it's Mave and Robbie sort of stacked on top of each other with darkness around them. And he's telling, he's coming clean and, explaining that they're now in this and they have this danger, and he's asking for time. And she never really says whether she'll give it to him or not. And that's sort of the one moment where we flipped the line. I think that's the only part of the scene we shot on that side of the line. Amy might remember better than me, but it was to sort of shift the perspective. It's like now Robbie is alone, and you sort of see him from a different perspective.
A phrase used on in other departments, but in music, we constantly said, we don't want to put a hat on a hat. Like, the scene is great.
That's Brad saying.
I use it constantly now, and like to the point where I have 2 task hats and I wear them constantly. But it was there. The scene was there, and we were like, the music for this just needs to be a spice. Like, we don't want to put in too much. We don't want to put in too little. It looks beautiful. The timing is perfect. The performances are amazing. How do we come in from the HBO sound and then cleanse the palette? Give us just enough score so we remember where the house is, who these kids are, what we're doing. Okay, we're in the car. Let's get out of here. Let's come back only when needed. And that choreography was really, really fun to work on.
I distinctly remember this from the edit, is we actually cut away from you smashing on the dashboard a little bit early so we could see her reacting to it, right? But also there's a great sound that Amelia makes when Tom reaches over to touch her face, and she makes this little noise. And I remember that sound coming out in the edit, and we had the sound editors like turn it up a little bit. And to me, it was this little moment that it said so much about Mave, that she's always ready to break, but always holds it in.
I don't know if I've ever been more impressed with an actor than I am with Amelia. Her talent and her work ethic and how she shows up every day puts most to shame. And then you realize when we filmed this, she's 22 years old. I don't even know what to do with that. So she didn't back up an inch. She took me in, but still honored where she was, where Mave was. I was clocking it as we were filming. I was like, man, she's good.
I mean, I had the same experience. I learned so much working with Tom. It's like every take, he just gives 100. We had filmed the porch scene in episode 1 when I throw Pepsi in Robbie's face the day before the car scene. And he literally let me throw Pepsi in his face every single take, even when the camera wasn't on him. And I think when I read the script, I loved Robbie, but I think Tom made Robbie even more likable than I ever thought he could or would be. And I think that's just honestly because Tom created such a complex, layered Robbie that I just fell in love with, which I think everybody in the world that's seen the show has completely fallen in love with his Robbie. And I felt, honestly, working with Tom was electric. I left every single take and my adrenaline was like through the roof. and like ever since I've been like, God, I just want to work with Tom again. Like it just literally like fired me up inside, and I loved doing that scene.
What I want you to know is how hard it is to be this brave and have no fear. I really admire that because it's hard to do. Some actors just want to be safe and do good enough, but you can't be brilliant that way. And I think that's why we have such wonderful performances, and I love the trust that you guys showed, both me and Jeremiah.
Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for checking out Task.